Hey guys, Packin here. Today I'd like to share with you a recent build I did for a client. Aiden, if you're watching this is a very special build for you. Now this one is heat shrinked. I still leave some room so that there's components that can still have some good airflow coming through from the chip. But it's the only way to do this is that I have to mount it flat side with a double-sided tape, and also I have to, because of that tape, it still wiggles a little bit. You have to add in some reinforcement. So I put another heat shrink on top of that so that it mounts it and secures it in place, leaving the tape secure at the bottom. This is a plug and play. The batteries plug and play. The switches are plug and play. And these are segmented switches you could find from the Saberforge website. And this is a Tri Cree with a diode. So I did all this wiring and I twisted them so you can see it. Now what's really great about the plug and play setup is that not only you have the ability to disassemble your switches, you can choose whatever switches you can get from Saberforge website. The plug and play, so they're all compatible. And the way I make them is so that they can also be compatible with Saberforge, and also that the Tri Cree LED is also plug and play. So if I detach this, you can use the leads and you can make another Tri Cree. So it's not necessarily RGB. This is RGB. You can also use a blue white, a green white. Again, you have to make sure you resist it properly, but they all follow the same function. You can always detach your Tri Cree to use another Tri Cree color that you can choose from. But ultimately, the RGB is flexible, but if you really want to have a specified color, let's say you want deep red and white, and that's something that the RGB doesn't necessarily offer, you can always get that that particular LED that you want, and you could customize and make it yourself, and you could plug in the same router where it would be. So just remember the black. So this top three is the negatives. So you have R, G, B yellow, and the red is the positive. So this is the one that goes directly to the board, to the battery, positive. This is the positive. So make sure this is you don't mess with the red. But you can always change with the black, green, and yellow. So there you go. It's a flexible Tri Cree adapter. These are PTFE 28 gauge wires, and I crimped them by hand. Now these, when you're crimping them, they're very tiny, and I'm using these little tiny crimpers, which can be found here, these little teeth. And you gotta take each little lead and you gotta crimp each of these wires, and you want to make them straight. Otherwise, if one wire is bigger than the other, then one wire is gonna stick out, and you need to make sure everything is even. So it takes a little bit of time. So the only time I use glue is actually on the switches, so you can see that the switches are glued in because you want to isolate that from contact with the metal of the hilt. So if you're using a hilt like this, and this is for Aiden, I'm going to make sure I put everything together. This is his special dueling saber. If you have contacts and you put it in, you don't want it shorting on you if you accidentally pull the kill key. So I had to make sure I isolate that. But none of my installs have ever had any glue in it whatsoever. So there's no glue at all. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. All right. So this one is a RGV chassis. You get from their website. But I believe this chassis is made by Kang Mai. I'm not sure, but I believe he's the person that made it. And yeah, so you want to check out that it works. You can pull the kill key out. Make sure this is turned on. So you pull the kill key out. All right, now the kill key is out. What's great about this is that you had to make sure which one is which one is main or auxiliary. So if you take it out, you pull it out like this. I marked it so you can see it. 1 dot is a main switch, so 2 dots is auxiliary. The one that has no dots is the LED. So the LED has no dots, so you can put it on any saber. You can put on that saber, you could put on another Saberforge saber. This chassis is a Saberforge compatible chassis. It's a 1.12 inch diameter chassis. So you can, what's great about it is it has a recharge port in the chassis, and you could leave these 2 buttons for your main and auxiliary. So, alright, so if I turn it on, you get red, and then you have flash on clash. Get a nice lockup. Okay, that's a very quick demo. I'm going to be putting this all together in this hilt. This is going to be faceted with the nut that came in it, so that it can secure without glue. So I have to have no glue on the inside as well as the outside of the area. But yeah, you can see that it lights up. And I wish I could put this opposite, but you really can't, because again, the way I do the wiring is meticulous, so that it passes through to the area where it has a lot of strength in here at the center. So if you pull it, it's not gonna damage the contacts. So you can see the wiring, you can see the contacts like that. So you just have to put the kill key back in to turn it off, like so. Now to take the SD card out, you want to use a tweezer. A curved tweezer is great. So the way to do it is you had to reach underneath. All right, you push it. You got to make sure you have the kill key on before you do it. So you don't want to do it when you have no kill key. Otherwise, you'll mess up the soundboard. So you hear that click, and you take the tweezer, and then you gently just pull that out, like so. And then you update and add more fonts into it, and be fine. So then after you put the fonts, you have to put it back into the board. You want to make sure your contacts the gold side up, and you want to take time to put it back in. This is a very tricky process. So you just slide that back in. Okay. Gently put it back in. Okay, and then you press it till you hear a click. Oh, you hear a click. You can use your finger, or you can use a butt-ended tweezer. There you go. And that's how you put in your SD card into the Golden Harvest. Now every time I use the Whenever I curl it up, I always add some heat shrinks to this build. This uses a Keep Power 18650 battery. This is specially made for the LEDs, as it doesn't have to require a 15 amp discharge, unlike it is for the pixels. As you can see over here at the bottom, you notice that there is a heat shrink that I isolate for the recharge port, so that it doesn't have any metal contacts. If you're touching another battery, let's say you have a different battery, you want to make sure that this is isolated, so you don't have metal touching to the recharge port. So there you go. So I'll be showing you how it comes together. All right, in a moment. All right, just letting you know that Aiden, your saber is now ready. If you take a look at it, you can see that the chassis is accessible. So just to be very careful, because it does become very loose. So you want to catch it. There you go. And here you go. It extends about this much of the way. So if you want to put a new battery in, you can do so with this connector. So you can just take out the connector, make sure the kill key is inside, and you put it in, and you take the battery out, so that you can prevent any kind of potential short circuits. You don't want to leave the battery off, leave the kill key off, and then you take the battery out. That's not always a good sign to do that. But as you can see, that heat shrink helps prevent it from knocking the sides against the metal inside metal of the hilt. I don't want any kind of potential short circuits, but it also holds the wiring in place so it doesn't move around. So it's solid. So you just press it in like so. I usually put the kill key, the recharge port, to the side where it meets to the switches. So you just take it out like that. You hear the boot up sound. And this is the speaker. It's a Saberforge 28mm 2 watt 8 ohm speaker. It's very loud, along with this sound that travels through to the pommel. So you just insert it in like so. And of course, this is a RGB Tri Cree with plug and play ability. So here you go. These blinking lights. These underneath are not glued in. These are secured through a nut. So the nut helps secure it, and you can always, unscrew this and unscrew the nut out from the switch, and you can pull those 12mm switches out of there. So this is your blade retention screw, and this is the screw that you do not touch. This is a LED retention, and this LED retention is there so that it actually accommodates a 1-inch blade plug. So 1-inch blade plug is going to be fitting here nice and flush, and you don't want to move that. So here you go. This is the auxiliary, and that's the main. You press the main. Alright. Standard blinking. Stop from blinking, go up. Just always change the different color by double tapping. There you go. So if you want to go back to a color, you go down. Okay, I'm gonna go red. And then you force, lock up. Okay. To go access another font, just press the aux and cycle like that. So you have your preloaded Golden Harvest version 4 that comes with the board, as well as Saberforge fonts that comes to the board because you got the board from Saberforge that carries the Golden Harvest version 4. So again, this is a simple, quick video of a demonstration of the build. Yeah, I hope you guys like it. This is Packin signing off. Peace.